We're just two women here to talk about love, life, and everything in between.
Everything in between?
I don't know.
Wait, seriously? What do you mean? What are we talking about today, boo? It's been a minute.
Well, first and foremost, we hope that you guys had a great last couple of weeks. We were kind of in a transition period, which made it a little harder to get on and record and moving and stuff like that. And we're still not 100% settled.
Right.
We got to Alaska.
18 hours in the airport, though.
Our flight got delayed, but we got to Alaska last week, and then we're finally about to move into our house. We get the keys today.
I got the keys. Yep. I'm excited. I'm ready to get out this hotel. It's terrible.
The hotel is not bad. They put us in, so we stayed in TLF on base. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a temporary living facility because we are a whole family. And it's upstairs, downstairs, fully furnished, 3-bedroom, full bathroom, kitchen with like all utensils and everything you need. Basically enough to survive with the family until you find housing.
Keyword, survive. Exactly.
You know what?
I'm ready
She's
to get
over
out of
here complaining, but it could be so much worse than this, and she knows that.
And we would be somewhere else.
And it's actually, considering how old the building is, it's actually very warm. It's not bad. It's not bad. She's just over here.
It ain't warm.
Bougie.
It's alright. But when I get cold, I can snuggle up under my sugar foot.
Y'all know.
She's
shallow.
Arms, oh man. Oh, okay. She's shallow. She's shallow with the.
She's shallow.
All right, baby. What we talking about? Cause we gotta go get these keys. The keys. No?
Why are you so close to my face?
I'm always close to your face.
I wish you guys could see this.
Just to be close.
Like, I mean, she's super close to my face.
Good. Give me a kiss early.
No.
Early.
No.
When I'm alone in my room.
No, stop.
Okay. What we talking about?
She is going in this morning. She's hype.
It's Throwback Monday.
Fresh Start Monday?
Yeah, Fresh Start Monday. There we go.
But we have been hooked on Pose.
Hooked on you, girl.
Anyway.
Look, you can't even talk.
We started Pose yesterday. I had to redo her hair.
Yes.
And
I look good, too.
We started watching Pose, and now we are hooked. And if you have never seen Pose before, it's...
Grab your tissue. Grab your tissue paper, because you're going to need it. I promise you, I was tearing up every episode. I love it, though.
She's so invested in these characters now.
I be excited when they're excited. If you win, I win.
And what it is it's centered around transgender community and kind of the mid-late 1980s.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to establish themselves as transgender,
right.
Voices being heard. But they're also at the point of the huge epidemic with HIV and AIDS, and people are dying from AIDS. There's not really a cure. They don't really understand everything about it, how you catch it.
Right.
And they know you can catch it, of course, by sexual intercourse, but they don't know all the ways of catching it. And it's still at that point in time where it's considered to be a homosexual disease.
Right. And the patients are being neglected in the hospitals. They're not really caring for them like they're caring for everyone else because they think it's a homosexual disease. It's just a very amazing show that we have been binge watching for the last, 2 days? Day?
No, day.
Like a day. Yeah, it's crazy because we've watched so many episodes in one day. But it's a very amazing show.
I think it's on season 2. And we're still on season 1, but I think it's 2 seasons out. It's on Netflix. That came out like 2018. Even if you look up the ratings, it's got very high ratings. Right. But it is a great show, and it just it sucks you in.
So if you're out there, Pose, we watching you, honey. Mm-hmm. Watching you, girl.
And it is great.
Yep. I am sold. Stop
very
looking
much
at me like that.
And you know what I found was crazy? Because I always watch something on TV, and then I'll start researching stuff. She's like, what are you looking at? So I was looking up, and you would think with all the medication they have, HIV isn't as scary as it used to be. It's still scary, but not as scary because you can live a very long life off of it.
Magic Johnson.
With it, if you're taking the proper medications. But people are still dying from HIV, and they're still dying in the United States with HIV. And I was just looking, I think it said in either 2016 or 17, they had over 15,000 people die of AIDS in the United States.
Right.
Overall, in the United States, since HIV and AIDS surfaced, it was over 600,000 people have died here. But globally, it's something around 32 million people have died of HIV. And I think even one of the articles I was reading said the rate of infection, I think it was 2017, was around 1.7 million globally.
Wow.
And so it's definitely out there.
Right.
You know, I think now we don't think about it as much because, like I said, it's less scary.
In your face like it was back in the day.
And they have things like PrEP and stuff like that that can help protect people who are dating someone with HIV.
Kind of go into what PrEP is, just in case we have listeners who don't know what PrEP is.
Sure.
Okay. That's what we got the medical on the main line.
No, I want you to go into it.
No, baby,
you know what it is.
I know what it is, but you know what it is. I can just tell you that just make sure you ask those tough questions when you're getting involved with someone sexually. We're adults, and if you're going to have sex, be adult enough to have an adult conversation to say, hey, when was the last time you get tested? Let's go get tested together. Let me see the last time you got tested. Don't be afraid to ask those hard questions, because there's some things out there that you can't get away. You can't, what am I saying? It's some things out there you that don't go away, right? So you just got to make sure you protect yourself and you're safe, and you ask those hard questions. And Babe's about to go into PrEP because she's the medical expertise.
And don't be afraid to ask those questions, because being that I'm a person who dates, you know, whoever, I've dated someone, a bisexual male, before, and before we did anything, he went and got tested. I always get tested anyway, just because I like to know. I don't care. I always want to know. But he went and got tested. I went with him. I saw the results, everything, before we even did anything together. And we had been friends for a few years before we even got together. So I knew what he did, and I knew his lifestyle and stuff like that. So I wasn't like blindsided because I was his friend. But before we did anything, he did have to go get tested, and get tested regularly. And I don't care how that makes somebody else feel, because I care about me, and I care about what happens with me. But PrEP, which most people know, if you're in the gay community, you know what PrEP is by now. But some people don't. And so PrEP is just something that if you are out there and you're at a higher risk of contracting HIV, by taking PrEP, it helps to protect you from actually contracting it should you be exposed to it. You know, nothing's 100% guaranteed, but it does work extremely well. And so if you are a person that is at higher risk, you can go start taking PrEP. And for those who are in the military, the great thing is that the military will pay for PrEP for you. You will get it for free because you are in the military and you're at a higher risk depending on your sexuality, what they deem to be a higher risk based on your sexuality, which is usually, of course, gay, homosexual. Then you would get it for free through the military.
See?
And that's it.
I knew you knew the scoop.
I wasn't gonna.
You knew the 411. Well, baby, I didn't know the 4. I didn't know all the information.
And then if you have a partner, like one has HIV, the other doesn't. One is taking their HIV medication, and then you're taking PrEP, or they're taking PrEP, however it's arranged. But the likelihood of it being transmitted back and forth is very, very small. It's extremely decreased. Like I said, these medications work extremely well. And you can have a very fulfilling sex life with someone who does have HIV. As long as everybody's taking their medication.
Yeah, everybody doing what they're supposed to do. That's awesome. Because we've come a long way.
Oh, a huge long way. I think, but even watching Pose, but I've always talked about this with somebody else too, and I think in terms of how much funding was going into research, there wasn't funding going into research when they thought it was just a homosexual's disease.
Right.
But then when other people besides homosexuals were getting this disease, to me, that's when the government and everyone else wanted to throw money into it.
Right.
So it's a huge epidemic. And we need to, because now we have straight people getting this disease, and we need to make sure they don't die. But I feel like society or the world was okay with homosexuals dying, and then when they realized
it was everybody else,
that's when they're like, we really got to do something now. And that's when, again, it's very sad and unfortunate that that's what it took for it to happen. But I am very glad that there is things out there.
Right. They were being more reactive than proactive. But
and just for the record, there's more than one strain of HIV. There's not just one. There's actually two. So if you are a person who does have HIV, it's not, I can go out and just have sex with anybody who has HIV, because now it doesn't matter because I have HIV. But there's different strains of HIV out there. It's not just one strain. So even though you may have HIV and you're with another partner who has HIV, you would still want to protect yourself and be careful, because you don't, there's more than just one strain, and you're not trying to have two strains.
Right.
So still protect yourself.
All right. Boom, there you go. From the medical professional herself. Girl, you so sexy when you be talking.
Get out of here.
Rawr.
Oh. It doesn't matter if I was talking or not. She was so...
Right, that voice.
Oh my gosh.
Girl 6. I got my personal Girl 6 operator. All right, baby. So what's the topic of discussion? Because I feel like the topic of discussion is just going to merge into the conversation that we were having anyway. And of course, I want you to introduce it. So don't look at me like that, because you already know what time it is.
Oh my, she gets on my nerves.
My goodness, oh my nerves. And every time she says I get on her nerves, she squints her eyes. It's so cute. And she has like the biggest smile like right now, and she bats them. Beautiful.
I can't stand her. I cannot stand her, y'all.
So
she gets on my nerves.
Go ahead and throw that topic out there, babe.
So since we were on the topic of pose, it kind of led into some other discussions, and we figured we would talk about why lesbian women have an issue with dating bisexuals. But what's funny is, like, they don't like to date bisexuals, but they always find themselves in relationships with bisexual women. But
pineapples
will say that they don't like dating bisexual women. So I wanted Elle to take a moment to kind of talk about why.
And why is it always about me? She just act like I've just lived this long, promiscuous life of random. No comment. All right, I'm listening.
Does.
What do you say, babe? What's the question?
You know what it is.
Why do lesbian women date bisexual?
Why do they not?
Do they not?
Why do they not want to date? Or
why do they not?
Because, like, when when we met in Facebook, the group that we met in Facebook.
We're not talking about us, though.
And I know there was somebody had put a question in there one day, and it was about, I don't know, it was something along the lines of who would date. And almost every single lesbian woman in there said, I would not date a bisexual woman. I would not date. And then you had maybe one
or two
that said they would. But all of them said, I won't.
So I can only speak from my personal experience and my lived experience. And this is just based off my personal perception. So bisexual women get a bad rap in my perspective, because there is a lack of honesty. But something that I learned later in life is that I used to be extremely attracted to bisexual women, and only because I had this thing to where I wanted the same women that the guys wanted, and I wanted to show them that I can pull her and you can't. So it was like more of a competitive thing with me when I was younger. And I've always been attracted to bisexual women. But what I learned as I became older is the fact that bisexual women that I've encountered have only wanted to have sex. They weren't looking for relationships, but they allowed themselves to be in a relationship that they knew in actuality they really didn't want to be in. So now you're with this person and you're giving 100% and they're giving 50% because you really ain't